Hello children, now you came to class 10, is not it? This is the most important class. From the beginning you pay attention in each and every verse and make notes of each and every topic. It will helpful in your studies, clear? So our first chapter is chemical reaction and equation, the first chapter of chemistry. Before I start this chapter, let's revise the previous knowledge. What is physical and chemical change? Because as reaction is there, so we have to understand physical and chemical change. We know that in physical change, no new substances is produced. Reaction is there, but no new substance is produced. For example, when water changes to steam on boiling, but no new substance is produced, means from liquid it convert into vapor, but no new substance. From change in state took place, but no new substance is produced. Next is chemical change. In this change, new substance with new properties are formed. Suppose when iron reacts with copper sulfate. So iron is a metal. When it reacts with copper sulfate, it forms ferrous sulfate along with the evolution of copper. The color of the changes. That means two new substances are produced. That is ferrous sulfate and copper is formed. In the picture itself you can see. Now let us discuss about what do you mean by reactants. I am using a word reactant and product. Always remember reactant is always written on the left hand side, whereas product we write on the right hand side. Clear? The substance which takes part in a chemical reaction that are known as reactant, whereas the substance which is the form by result of the reactant is known as product. The substance which is produced as a result of chemical reaction are called products. For example, when you burn coke in air, oxygen, carbon dioxide in air, then carbon dioxide carbon dioxide and oxygen are the reactant, while carbon dioxide formed is the product. Clear? So what is chemical reaction? Chemical reaction are the chemical change in which reactant are transformed into product. And when reactant transformed into product, then we say that chemical reaction has taken place. While we perform some experiment, perform some reaction, some things happen. Sometimes color may change, sometimes evolution, gas may evolve, sometimes precipitate may form. So we will discuss this now. Now, evolution of gas. When zinc is a metal. In your book itself, it is given when zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, we find that one gas is evolving. That gas is known as hydrogen gas. So we can say that when zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, it forms zinc sulfate along with the evolution of hydrogen gas. Here, zinc and sulfuric acid are called as reactants. So evolution of gas. Next is change in temperature. These are the few characteristics of chemical reaction. Change in temperature. There are two types of changes. One is exothermic, another one is endothermic. In exothermic reaction, heat evolves. That means by performing the experiment when heat is released, it is known as exothermic reaction. When it reacts, suppose methane reacts with oxygen. When methane CH4 reacts with oxygen, then carbon dioxide, water, along with the evolution of heat is formed. That reaction is known as exothermic reaction. Combination are generally exothermic reaction. In my next chapter, we will study about combination reaction. Now remember, combination reaction are generally exothermic in nature. Our next change is endothermic reaction. Those reactions in which energy is absorbed. When energy released, it is known as exothermic. When energy absorbed, it is known as endothermic reaction. For example, calcium carbonate. When you heat calcium carbonate, it converts into calcium oxide along with the evolution of carbon dioxide gas. Our next changes when you perform a chemical reaction is change in color. Here I am showing the picture of a iron. See in the beginning the iron color and after reaction iron color. So that is known as rust. Iron rusting, which is change in color, forms from silver to reddish brown. From silver iron change into reddish brown. This change is known as rusting. I hope change in color changes. Next, change in state. How many states are there? Three. Solid, liquid, gas. We studied this in class 9 in our first chapter. Clear? So, here I have given the example of candle wax. Candle wax is a solid. When you burn wax, it converts into liquid form. Liquid form, when it melts, it converts into liquid along with the evolution of carbon dioxide gas. The wax, liquid wax, the solid wax convert into liquid and then convert into gas. This means that during the combustion reaction of wax, the physical state of solid change into first liquid and then gas. This is one of the characteristics of chemical reaction. Another is melting of ice. Suppose ice is a solid, is not it? When it melts, it convert into liquid. If we heat that water, it convert into gas. That means change of state from solid to liquid and then from liquid to gas. Another change is formation of precipitate. What do you mean by precipitate? Sometimes some chemical reactions are characterized by the formation of precipitate. Here I have given the example by showing one picture of when barium chloride react with sulfuric acid, it convert into barium sulfate along with white precipitate. See, white precipitate is formed. This change is known as precipitate reaction. Some reaction are categorized by the formation of precipitate. It is known as precipitate reaction. So this is the beginning of the chapter. I gave you such introduction. In my next class, I will tell you how to balance the equation, which is very much essential. Clear? Go through this chapter and I will tell in my next class we will study about balancing the chemical equation. Thank you, children.